She tapped her glass against the others at the table and spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. My husband still thinks holding doors open makes him some kind of romantic. Bless his fragile little ego. Laughter followed, strained, high-pitched, laced with superiority. I just smiled, my hands steady around my drink, though my throat was tight with heat. It wasn't the first time she'd taken a jab at me disguised as humor, but this was different. This time, she made the joke in front of 10 of her friends, deliberately showing me I was the outsider. I said nothing. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make a scene. I rose slowly, placed my napkin gently on the table, and walked out. Not a word. Just silence. She thought I was being overly sensitive. What she didn't realize was, I was finished. We first met in a bookstore. She dropped her coffee. I handed her a napkin. It felt like something straight out of a film. Her laugh was too loud, and for some reason I liked that about her. The years blurred by. She once admired the fire in me, back when all I had were plans and a dream. I started my own consulting business from scratch. Back then, she used to talk about me like I was the best thing that ever happened, intelligent, loyal, endlessly driven. But eventually, success lost its charm. I wasn't remarkable anymore. I was just there. Background noise. Her teasing grew sharper. In public, she'd interrupt me mid-thought, dismiss my ideas with a laugh, ridicule my calm nature, call me overly emotional. And I endured it, because I remembered the girl from that bookstore. But that girl didn't laugh when I left a room. She didn't recoil when I tried to hold her hand. That girl didn't exist anymore. 2 weeks after the dinner party, she called. Said she went too far. Claimed she was drunk. Said it was all a joke. I let her talk. Then I ended the call. That silence, that was when things began to unravel for her. I didn't walk out of the marriage. I made her wish I had. First, I removed my name from the shared bank account, left just enough to cover the essentials. Next, I contacted my attorney. Had the deed to the house updated with just my name. Technically, it always had been mine. I bought it before we were married. She never bothered reading the fine print. She never paid attention. I began sleeping in the guest room. Polite, distant, like a stranger wearing a familiar face. She noticed, of course, grew annoyed, confused even, but not alarmed. She still believed she was in control. Right up until her credit cards stopped working. That's when I found her vulnerability, hiding in plain sight. Her public image. She'd carefully crafted a persona online. The flawless wife, the luxurious lifestyle, the perfect smile. Her social media presence was her currency. Deals, followers, brand endorsements. So, I targeted exactly that. Remember the photos she snapped at that dinner party? I leaked just one. A picture of her sneering behind a waiter's back. Then another, flipping off a homeless man near our building. Public outrage doesn't need fuel. Just a flicker. The brands backed out. Sponsors dropped her like a sinking ship. She screamed when it happened, hurled her phone across the room, pointed at me, demanded I fix it. I didn't flinch, just took a sip of coffee and looked up. I thought I embarrassed you, I said calmly. She froze. I smiled. Might be time to start packing. I had kept receipts, recordings, all the things she never thought twice about saying. How she spoke about me to her friends. How she laughed about having an escape plan. In one clip she joked, if I ever get bored, I'll just marry someone richer. But I wasn't after revenge. I wanted her to understand what it felt like to be made small, forgettable, disposable. So I invited her circle to a farewell dinner. Told her it was a surprise party in her honor. She showed up in her signature red heels and a smile made of glass. Midway through the meal, the projector screen behind me came to life. One by one, the room filled with the sounds of her voice, recordings, videos, messages, gasps, shifting chairs, stolen glances. She sat frozen, drained of color, then flushed with rage. Then, nothing. She tried to explain, to spin her usual story. But truth has a frequency you can't fake. And I made sure they heard every note. She left that evening with streaked mascara and no one beside her. 2 days later, I filed for divorce. She fought back, claimed emotional abuse. I brought receipts, dates, bank records, transcripts. The judge barely had questions. She left the courtroom with just enough to lease a small apartment. The house stayed with me. So did the quiet. Now every once in a while she calls. Not out of love, out of need. Says things like, "I never meant to hurt you." And I believe her. She didn't mean to. But she did. So when the phone rings, once, twice, 10 times, I let it go unanswered. Because the truth is, I didn't walk out that night. She did. With every mocking word, every performative laugh, every moment she chipped away at the man who once adored her. She left long before I ever stood from that table. And now I return the favor. With silence.